Hello there, and welcome to my channel Novice Modelling in a Midlife Crisis. My name is Andy, and today we're doing a What's in the Box kit review, number 283, which means we're roughly 1/3 of the way through my rather mad kit stash. And we're going to be having a look at this rather cool, I think, Supermodel Blohm And Voss BV-138 flying boat, or also known as the flying clog, in the 1/72 scale, and this comes with three different versions: the B1, the C1 and the MS, which is a minesweeper, I believe. Now, I'm not particularly familiar with the Supermodel. They were a kit manufacturer based out of, I think it was Bologna in Italy. I don't think they produce anymore. I think they had their kit toolings taken over by Revell in the 2000s. So the basic history of this one is it was from a tooling that originated in 1977. There was another reboxing of this in 1970 ? According to Scalemates. There was a further reboxing in 1983, another reboxing in 1980 ? Another one in 1990 ? And Revell produced it in 2005. Now, these are kind of difficult to get hold of, but as far as I'm aware, they're the only manufacturer, Supermodel and Revell, that ever produced this particularly interesting aircraft. And current prices on eBay, I think I paid about £35 with the postage for this, which is a fair price, I think. They tend to kind of fluctuate wildly depending on if anyone's looking for them at the time, sort of between £25 and £50. Currently I can only find one, which is a Revell, on for £45 plus postage and packing, so my £35 seems like a fair deal to me. So as per normal, we're going to go through the parts on the sprue. We'll go through the instructions, decals and all the other bits and bobs as well. So let's have a look at the parts first. So we get three main sprues with this, and as per the 1970s tooling, all the panel lines on this are raised. The detail appears to be rather basic, but that's what you get. I can't say any more than that. It's kind of cool looking, or weird looking, or incredibly ugly, depending on how you look at it. Obviously it's a twin boom, 3 propeller aircraft, and this rather large chunk here is one half of the fuselage, or hull, I suppose you could call it as well, since it's a flying boat. And as we can see, we have our raised panel lines all looking quite chunky. You have some access points. We've got a space for a gun here. That's our cockpit area. That's our central top engine housing. We have points here for attaching the wings, and then we go on to the rear of the boat where we get another turret at the back. Here we have one of the sets of booms, so we can see our mounting points for our rudders. And we go along now with our chunky paddle lines all the way to the front of our engine nacelle. And same on the other side, except we have 2 mounting points here for the rear fin. These parts here, this actually comes with a sort of trolley to put underneath it, so it can be displayed in or out of the water, which is pretty interesting and pretty cool, quite useful. I mean, obviously for display, you can display it on a trolley as well, because that probably makes more sense, because if you're just going to dump it on the desk, it might get scratched or marked. I think these 2 parts here, they're going to be wheels for the trolley. There's some more wheels here, and we can see on this other section of the hull we've got multiple portholes or windows to be put in. So that's our first sprue. Second one, we're looking at the wings. Let's see. That's going to be the bottom of the wing now. So we've got the bottom of the wing, we've got a space here for the ailerons, and we can see we have mounting points for our floats to be attached to. There's also a couple of bombs, I think, that can be attached to the outer sides. I'm guessing they go to the outer sides of the wings in one of these holes here. Or maybe they go here. I'll have to look at the instructions for that. A couple of access panels on the underside. We've got some upper access panels here. These are the top sections of the wings, and as you can see, again, all panel lines are raised. On the under section here, we've got this big ring, which is 4 pieces and goes together, and that is the mine sweeping circle or apparatus, or whatever you want to call it. And then we have small parts for the previously mentioned trolley. Now, so that's our second sprue. Third sprue, we have the central fin for the tail. We have our floats, which are 2 pieces to put together. Again, they've got the same sort of level of detail on them. Not great, but whatever. We've got the rear control surface for the rear fin. We have ailerons, which are double-sided, so is that fin. See what we got here. Yeah, we've got 3 little bombs here, so I'm thinking they go on the inboard of the wing. These are going to be some struts, possibly for the float or the tail. Too sure what these small parts are. So we've got a couple of little anchors there. Kind of makes sense, I suppose. We've got some 4 pilot figures. One is standing. That one appears to have been shot, and they have arms that require attaching, which is kind of novel. What we got here? Don't really know. It's our aerial. These here are the bases for the turrets. So this is going to be the gun here. Not too sure what that is. Looks rather big to be a pilot stick. And that looks like some sort of aerial. Not too sure what those 2 parts are. It's going to be our floor for the pilot area. Tiny little bit of basic detail and some pedals there. Don't see any seats anywhere. I haven't seen any seats. Have you seen? Oh, here we go. Here's the seats. There's some seats. This is a sort of control bank with there's a load of decals to go over this. So it's a load of radios and what have you. There's a 4-bladed propeller to go in the centre, and there are 2 tri-bladed propellers to go either side. One of them is loose. There's a couple of little loose parts. I've got the spinners here, which we are attached there. So that's our last sprue. Just going to take that other propeller off. It's looking a bit loose. So let's have a look at the instructions. But no, I'll have a look at this part first. This is the glaze parts. So we have 2 turrets, one front, one rear. A couple of large windows. Not sure where they go. These little portholes, and then we have the main cockpit canopy. We have decal sheet with a couple of unit figures. We've got some naughty symbols there. Cockpit control panel. These are all the little radio and McGubbins. And we've got a couple of different units that we can dress this up as by the look of it. Standard German crosses. And I'm not quite sure which one I've actually got here. The 73 and the 83 had different boxes. There's printing on here. So this is either the 77, the after 83, or the 1990s. I'm thinking by the foxing and the yellowness of this old tape that's on it, it could well be the original 1977 version. I'm not sure. The little symbols there might make it an earlier one as well. So instructions. Let's have a look at the history of this. If you're not familiar or you can't be bothered watching, looking at Wikipedia. One of the first projects studied by the Hamburger Flugzeugbau Blohm And Voss section was for a long-range reconnaissance flying boat. The selected configuration was a central boat with twin booms carrying the tail. Construction of an example started in March 1935. An order was placed for the prototypes with the designation HA-138, powered by 3 Junkers Umo 250C diesel engines. A marked lateral stability deficiency was experienced during trials, together with structural deficiencies in rough seas and poor hydraulic qualities. It was decided to redesign the aircraft but keep the original configuration of a central boat and twin booms. The new aircraft flew for the first time in February 1939, designated BV-138. The first production order was for 25 aircraft, some of which were immediately used in the occupation of Norway. This initial experience brought to light again the necessity to strengthen further the aircraft's structure. Following the modifications, the aircraft was designated BV-138B1. Additional defensive armament was fitted, bringing a total to 2 MG-151 20mm cannons in rear and front turrets, and an MG-131 13mm machine gun in an open position aft of the central engine. Offensive armament included 3 50kg bombs attached to the central section of the starboard wing, that's those holes. During the winter of 1941, units equipped with the BV-138B1 were based in Norway. They searched for convoys in the North Sea and in the Atlantic. In March 1941, an improved version known as the BV-138C1 entered service. This differed slightly externally from previous versions and was powered by 3 12-cylinder Junkers Umo 205D diesel engines of 800 horsepower. Some BV-138s were converted for mine detecting and designated BV-138MS. They were equipped with a beryllium ring and lacked the rear turret and armament in the front turret, which was substituted with the motor which supplied the power to the ring. After solving the teething troubles experienced by the prototypes, the BV-138 resulted in an excellent operational aircraft. It showed itself a robust machine which could take punishment from the enemy, and at times came out as a victor against much more agile and fighter aircraft. There we go. Let's have a quick note of these instructions. Get our detailed sprue diagram. And Section 1 is construction of the cockpit compartment and the engineering section. Section 2, we're doing our turrets, so we can see our guns, how they go in there. Oh, they're going that way. Oh, interesting. But they were the bases. Apparently not. Section 3, we're putting the hull together with our previously made cockpits and turrets. Section 4 focuses on the wings and the booms and the tail. Section 5, propellers, spinners and floats. Section 6, we've got a whole load of little bits to go on. And we're starting to put some of our windows and whatnot have you on as well. Section 7 is the duralumin ring for mine detecting. Section 8 continues with that as well. So we can see we've got an adaptation here to make with our turret. And Section 9 is construction of our trolley. That all went kind of easy, didn't it? And then we've got all the other aircraft that Supermodel made. Mainly Italian by the look of it. No, all the others are Italian. I've got this Savoia Marchetti SM81 in my stash, but none of the others. Yeah, so they only made Italian aircraft, apart from this Blohm And Voss BV-138. Kind of an interesting diversion, that. And I'm glad you made it, because otherwise we wouldn't have one, apparently. So there we go, hope you enjoyed that. This is What's in the Box 283. So there's 282 other What's in the Box kit reviews you can go and have a look at for 135 and 1/72 scale. There will be a little thing coming here which will give you access to the rest of them. And like I say, over the next year or so, I'm going to be plugging through the rest of my collection, and we'll have a nice little library of pretty little model kits for you to peruse over. So thanks very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe, and as always, be seeing you.